Hi students, welcome back. Today we're going to be painting a ocean scene. And I'm going to start off right now and telling you the materials that we're going to be using. It's a canvas, that's a long canvas, 10 by 20. And the painting we're going to be using today for the sky, we're going to be using an ultramarine. If you don't have ultramarine, we will do with whatever blue that you have. We're going to use a darker, deeper blue called phthalocyanine blue. And then we're going to use some brown for the ocean, for the sand, some brown and some yellow mixed with white for the sand. For the ocean, we're going to use this dark blue and this teal. And we're going to use a big fat brush like this. And I have my water and I have my palette, and we're going to paint on this and we're going to get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dip my brush. So the first thing I'm going to do is dip my brush, blot it. I'm going to take the ultramarine blue, which is here, dip that in there, and I'm going to go right across the sky. And it's kind of important to keep the sky to about 1/3. You can get your chalk, probably should have gotten the chalk first place. Get the chalk out, and we're going to draw a line that's almost halfway, and that's how far our ocean is, our sky's gonna go to that ocean. And then we're going to have another little part down here, which is where our sand is gonna go. I want to have a lot of sky this time, so we're going to check this out and see how it goes. All right, so back to the painting. So we're going to, just on probably the top, two-thirds of the paint that I'm going to have as the sky is going to be that, and then I'm going to dip it in white and just go start probably a third of the way down right here a little bit and just go right on top of it, long strokes. And have that come all the way down to my ocean line. Long strokes back and forth. I want the top to be kind of dark still, so I may dip it in the dark again, the dark blue, and go on top again. But the idea is to have a dark blue and fade into an almost white. So what I'm going to also do now is I'm going to clean off my brush to clean the blue off of it, because it's pretty dark blue down here. Get that off, put more white on here, and just cover this part, just back and forth, until it's almost white. Goes right to that line. So I'm going to dip that again, because now what I want to do is I want to make the ocean line, and I'm going to make the ocean line a really, really, really dark blue. Or whatever darkest blue that you have. So I'm going to rinse that out. Get as much of that off as possible. That white, because I don't want that white on there. I'm going to dip it in the very, very dark. And very carefully, I'm just going to go all the way across, right about where my chalk mark was. I'm going to go all the way across. And I kind of cheat a little bit. I kind of put a little bit here so I can see where my paint is. And then I'm going to go all the way across. Just one line, all the way across. And fill that in. Long strokes. Then I'm going to dip into the turquoise. And I'm going to keep a section, probably about 3/4 of an inch to an inch. I'm going to keep a whole section here, dark, dark, dark blue. I'm not going to touch it with any other lighter colors, because that will have the appearance of it going really deep into the distance, really far, into the horizon point. So I'm going to start about a 1/2 inch down, or an inch down, and I'm just going to bring this turquoise in. I'm going to put a little bit more turquoise on that. And I'm going to want to lighten that up. So I'm just going to dip into the white and just put that right on like the last little section here. And you can hold your brush flat. I'm holding it, I'm not painting it this way. I'm actually painting it like that. So not straight like that, I'm painting it like that. So I can have very, like, take up a smaller space, going all the way across. And I'm like, okay, I want to put a little more turquoise in here. A little bit more white. And here's where you can kind of go back and forth. We're going to put some, as you can hear, we'll put some waves on top of it. You can go back and forth and just get it kind of how you like it. Make sure you keep the very top really, really dark blue. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do for the ocean. Rinse that off. And then I'm going to do the sand. And because we're just doing this from home and whatnot, I'm actually going to go get more water because it's pretty dark and murky. All right, I changed my water. I got my brush washed out, and I'm actually going to do the next part with the smaller brush here. So I'm going to take my brown and my yellow. I'm going to mix those together with a bit of white and get the sandy color. And then I'm going to take that and just go on the very bottom. I did not leave a lot of room for the sand, so we're going to be dealing with this. I'm going to let that dry, probably put another little coat on top of that. And then we're going to go in and put some clouds in the sky and make it all nice. And put some waves here. Not a whole lot, just so you can see right there. I'll get back with you very shortly. Okay, so I've had this dry at least a lot. Now we're going to put some clouds. Now there's different materials that I've used for clouds because they're not super awesome real life realistic clouds. They're more of the idea of them. So I've used a brush that has like very rough for clouds and for the surf. Well, I'm going to use a little bit of this today. I'm going to show you on this. I've also used crinkled up paper towel, and then I've also used crinkled up wax paper and also crinkled up saran wrap. So today I'm going to show you two techniques on this one with this brush and the other one with the crumpled up paper towel. We'll start with a crumpled up paper towel. You crumple it up, you dab it in the white, and then you want to dab it in another area so it's not so it's like it's coming off a little bit. And then you're going to go in the sky and you're going to just dab. Show that to you a little bit closer. And then you can also do little and the other, I like doing a so it gives you the idea of some clouds up there. And now for the surf, do the same thing, dip in there, and then you just dip right on the edge of the ocean and the sand. And you can do that all the way along if you want, or you can just pick a couple of areas that you want. Like up here, there's one area and then another area, or you can do it all the way across. You're gonna probably have to re-dip often because if it's not fully dry, like mine's not fully dry, it'll start pulling up the paint that's already there and it makes it kind of like brownish. So I'm just reapplying. all the way across. And then I'll also show you a bit with the brush. Put a little bit of paint on the brush, make sure it's not a lot. And you can stipple. It's called stippling, where you just, and you don't want to use a good brush. Like, you don't want to use a brush that is a nice brush. You want to use the brush that's already going, or a natural bristle brush for this. And you just stipple. That can create the surf, and that can create the waves on that. So that's a very simple drawing. That's very, you get a good result at the end of it. Very, some good basics, long lines, in taking it from the dark all the way to the light, and then the dark all the way to light again. This probably could have been lightened up. It'd be totally fine. But that is your basic ocean scene. And that's all for today.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.